WTOL TV, Toledo 11. From Northwest Ohio's leading news team, Jeff Heitz, Jill Olmsted, meteorologist Charlie Umpenhour, and Orris Tabner with sports. This is Toledo 11 News.
Good evening. Part of Swan Creek Metropark looks much like a southern Ohio forest tonight. Outdoor burning and high winds combined to turn 6 acres of dry grass into scorched earth. A jogger spotted smoke on one of the trails about 12:45 today. High winds blew the burning grass over the trail, but Toledo firefighters and Metropark rangers quickly got it under control.
It could have been a cigarette, it could have been a piece of glass in the sun out. With the wind, there's no way of telling because it just took off.
Rangers and firefighters scanned the park throughout the afternoon looking for hot spots. The rain just didn't come soon enough to help. The state of Ohio will start enforcing open burning laws in an effort to curb the forest fires that have blackened thousands of acres of forest in the last 10 days. Governor Celeste ordered the stepped-up action today after his staff decided there was no basis for a statewide ban on open burning. But in 23 southern counties, authorities will strictly enforce the law that requires a permit for any burning on public or private land. Some temporary relief from the dryness has arrived, but will it do as much good? Let's go to Charlie in the Weather Center for a look. Charlie?
Well, on our radar system out of the National Weather Service up in Detroit, shows a line of showers extending from around Findlay right up through and just east of Toledo, spreading out towards Sandusky and on up into Ontario. This activity has been very slowly moving, though I've had a report out of Secor and Lasky, 4/10 of an inch of rainfall, so we've had some good rainfall with this. But Jeff, the pattern is going to move on through, and we're going to be drying out again tomorrow, but I'll say by the end of the week, we'll have some more rain.
And we'll have the complete forecast just a bit later. Thank you, Charlie. Carpenters across Northwest Ohio are on strike tonight. 1,800 members of the Maumee Valley District Carpenters Council walked out at midnight when their contract expired. They're at odds with area contractors over contract language. Major projects, such as the convention center, are not affected because of special contract agreements. But work on the Radisson Hotel will stop. The head of the Carpenters Union says negotiations are going well, and he expects the strike could end within a few weeks. Pickets won't go up until tomorrow. There's no union for almost 2,000 full-time employees at the University of Toledo, but soon more than 600 workers at the school may have a union for the first time in 2 years. Stuart Watson reports the CWA is coming on strong.
Think of a glassblower as a potential member of the Communications Workers of America. But Jack Wise is one of 19 professionals who has 2 weeks to decide if he wants a union at the University of Toledo and if professionals should be a part of it. In a time when union membership nationwide is declining, the CWA is beating the bushes for new members and finding them.
The employees would like a share of the power, and that's what unions are all about, helping the administration make decisions and sharing some in the power.
In a week and a half time, I have signed up 350 members, just in a week and a half time.
The administration at UT says it will work with whatever comes along.
I don't see that we have a particular management problem. We do have a new president who is extremely sensitive to the wishes and the feelings of our classified employees, and we would hope that he has a chance to demonstrate that.
Program analysts, custodians, and secretaries cast their ballots side by side on April 16th. A similar ballot in 1984 went to the CWA over AFSCME, 427 to 19. AFSCME charged the CWA had raided its membership, a conflict resolved by the heads of the unions just this year. CWA is organizing at Bowling Green State University as well. Some professors have expressed interest, but what works for the groundskeepers may not work for the faculty. Stuart Watson, Toledo 11 News.
Whether you knew it or not, the cost of some of your in-state phone calls dropped today by 9%. The Public Utilities Commission of Ohio says the lower tolls are the result of the breakup of AT&T. The cheaper calls are the ones between cities in a company's marketing area, between, say, Toledo and Bowling Green.
Thousands of dairy farmers will soon give up the farm. They're participating in the latest government program aimed at reducing the milk surplus. For one area farmer, it's now or never. Elizabeth McGuire has details.
These healthy milk-producing cows will soon be slaughtered, and after 30 years in dairy farming, Bob Eisel will be out of business.
If we stayed in, we'd have to probably increase our herd about 50% in order to keep our cash flow, and that's just going to make more surplus.
Eisel is participating in a government program to reduce the nation's milk surplus. If his bid is accepted, Eisel sells his 150 cows for slaughter, then receives payments based on his herd's yearly milk output. He'll have to stay out of dairy farming for 5 years. The decision to kill his cows was a tough one.
You know, you're almost part of the family, but you know, you just have to just bear with it, I guess.
2 years ago, Eisel made $3 profit on every 100 pounds of milk he sold. But the price of milk has dropped by $3.30. Now he's just breaking even. Instead of cows, Eisel will invest in steers. Eisel isn't ruling out getting back into the business in another 5 years. He's hoping the success of the program will allow him to do what he hasn't been able to do, make a profit. Elizabeth McGuire, Toledo 11 News.
Toledo Edison officials warn that con men posing as utility employees are operating in the area. Typically, they claim to be checking wiring, and then once inside your home, they steal your valuables. Edison says normally only its uniformed meter readers need to enter your home, and they have ID cards, so be sure to ask for them before allowing anyone into your home.
Always a good idea.
Yeah.
Be cautious.
Let me see your ID, please.
Yes. Up next, teaching young girls a skill that'll make them some money very soon.
And making a living from walleye eggs. Stay with us for that.
When tough velvet leaf gets tougher to control in corn, get all the power you need to stop your toughest broadleaves in reduced tillage corn. Overpower broadleaves with Banvel herbicide. Get tough velvet leaf control in corn clear to canopy with less stress and better yields than 2,4-D. Overpower broadleaves with Banvel herbicide.
It's the Red Lobster Shrimp Festival. With so many special entrees, you want to bring the gang and try them all.
Thank you.
Trade some new shrimp trio. Look at all this. For shrimp and creamy Alfredo sauce.
May I?
Share some spicy New Orleans-style shrimp.
You first.
No, you. Or one of 10 special entrees starting at $6.95. At the Red Lobster Shrimp Festival for a limited time only.
Remember the spectacular 6-star Subaru celebration? Well, just when you thought it was gone, your Subaru dealer is bringing it back. Now through Saturday, April 12th, the Subaru celebration is on again to give more people a chance to get a Subaru of their choice. See your Subaru dealer for the models, colors, and options you want. But hurry, make your best deal now before this celebration is sold out. The spectacular celebration is on again, so see your 6-star Subaru dealer today.
Shh, I don't want my kids to know I am eating the last Whitney's blueberry yogurt. I buy a dozen every week, but I always hide a couple behind the broccoli. Can you blame me? Look at this, a whole blueberry. And it's no fluke. Whitney's blueberry yogurt is loaded with whole blueberries. And this one is all mine.
Whitney's yogurt, smooth, creamy, all natural. But it's our fruit that makes people fanatics.
Before Whitney's, I was a very generous person.
Changing diapers was one of the challenges some Girl Scouts took on today at the Red Cross. The lesson was part of a program called SUPERSTORES, designed to help young girls prepare for the child care profession. Faith Murphy has more.
Okay, you're feeding the baby and she starts choking. Okay, what are you gonna do?
These Girl Scouts are learning some valuable lessons about a job they may well be doing when they're old enough to work, babysitting.
I learned how to change his diaper, and I know how to take care of him if he gets sick or if he falls.
Do you think this is going to help you if you decide to get into babysitting?
Yes.
The Red Cross offers babysitting education to girls 11 years old or older, and so far, the response has been good.
It's designed for students who have younger brothers and sisters at home that they may be babysitting, or if they want to seek employment as a babysitter.
Pick the baby up and cradle the baby in your arms. That is called the cradle hold. Okay, turn around and show them.
The Red Cross has offered this program for about 5 years. Participants pay a $5 fee for the 6-hour course, and when they complete it, they receive a certificate and attending toddler's badge.
Some of the things they probably know, like picking up a baby, but they're learning a lot of in-depth type skills, such as growth and development, emotional development, and how this ties into taking care of certain age groups.
The Red Cross will expand the program in June by making it available at area libraries. Faith Murphy, Toledo 11 News.
15 states, including Ohio, have gotten involved in helping latchkey kids by offering them an emergency phone book. Area Kmart stores, in conjunction with the Coca-Cola Company, are giving away the phone books upon request.
Specifically for children, and there's pictures which relate to the phone numbers. For instance, picture of a police officer for the police phone number, and it makes it very, very easy for the children to understand.
The phone books are designed to help children make emergency phone calls. The books are available at Kmart stores through April 12th.
Northwest Ohio has a nationwide fishing reputation this time of year. As Dick Berry reports tonight, one man has come to town to drum up some fertile business.
It's standing room only this time of the year along the Maumee River. The walleye run is on, attracting some 60,000 fishermen. Coleman Nordhausen is approaching them looking for pregnant walleye.
Yeah, all males, every one of them. Yeah. Well, thank you anyway.
All righty, sure enough. Coleman has come from northern Minnesota to collect walleye eggs for an Ohio hatchery. A state permit allows him to gather 80 quarts. That's about 9.5 million eggs. Restocking waterways lacking walleye is what Coleman's job is all about.
If you're putting them in a rearing pond, the success or the survival is tremendously high in a rearing pond as opposed to the lake. So you may be looking at 50% in a pond, and you may be looking at 10% in a lake survival of the fry that you've stocked.
The fish are milked right on the scene, then the eggs are mixed with sperm for fertilization. Ohio is in the same business.
We in Ohio use them in our inland lakes where we don't get natural reproduction from the walleye. Walleye need fast-moving water, or at least good-moving water, gravel bottom, and large bodies of water. Most of our inland lakes and reservoirs are not large enough and don't have the right bottom contour to provide the spawning areas for them.
After reeling in that big one, most anglers are happy to turn over the eggs. It's considered the sporting thing to do. As for others, some like to eat them as a delicacy. Coleman says they may not taste like caviar, but at least they're not as expensive. Dick Berry, Toledo 11 News.
Dick had his sunglasses out earlier today.
Earlier. The sun was out earlier, and of course the wind picked up, and then the clouds came in.
Continue tonight or not?
No, we'll find them ending. In fact, we're on the western edge of it right now, and it does mean a little cooler weather for tomorrow.
Good. Forecast just ahead. Stay with us.
Do you know how crucial the first few weeks are to your corn crop? Well, that's when leaves and this microscopic ear are developing. If plants are stressed now, your yield could be in jeopardy. What causes stress? Weather, insects, compaction, and herbicides. You can't do much about stresses like weather, but why take risks with things you can control, like herbicides? Recent studies show that Lasso is a more selective herbicide, meaning that it's tough on weeds but easier on corn. In fact, new evidence shows that young corn metabolizes Lasso twice as fast and allows seedlings to resume normal growth sooner than corn treated with the other grass herbicide. Use Lasso this spring. It stresses less during early growth and controls weeds all season to help your crop reach its yield potential. Lasso, less stress, more yield.
A tip from Peoples on money management. To round out your investment portfolio, invest at Peoples. Taking risks is part of investing. No broker can tell you how your stocks and bonds will react to fluctuations in the economy, so you take big risks in the hope of making big gains. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you protect your portfolio with a significant percentage of your money in a sure thing. And an account at Peoples is the sure thing you need to protect your portfolio. To protect your investment power, invest at Peoples.
As you've grown, so have we, with nearly 50 years' experience providing comprehensive, reliable health care protection. Blue Cross of Northwest Ohio.
High temperature today, a new record high, 79 degrees, and it certainly made the difference on the timing of when those showers arrived, because as soon as those showers moved in, our thermometer reading dropped very quickly into the middle 50s, and that made the difference in today's high. And anyway, today goes down for a record high temperature. Currently 51 degrees, relative humidity at 96%. Our dew point still fairly high at 50 degrees. It'll be falling on down, though, as drier Pacific air works in from the west. A rising barometer, 30.00 inches, winds out of the northwest, bringing in that drier Pacific air at 14 miles per hour. Our lowest reading this morning, 49, as I mentioned, that 79 is a new record high for this calendar date. Notice the normal high once again. Pretty much on the chilly side for this time of the year. Here's how we look as far as precipitation. 2/10 of an inch at the airport. I mentioned earlier 4/10 of an inch at Secor and Lasky. And down at Curtis, 2300ths out there. Down at Putnam County, 1300ths in Pandora, and 1/10 of an inch reported at Columbus Grove. So we do have quite a variation, and we'll find out what those final amounts will be once this shower activity moves on through. And here it is. It still stretches now from around Findlay back up to east of Toledo, moving into Sandusky, on up into Ontario, and that is the leading edge of that fresh, clean Pacific air that's sweeping on through. Here's how temperatures look now. Ranging from the 60s behind this system, the 50s and 60s, where we've had some heavier rain in the 50s, still that 70s and near 80 or so for temperature readings over eastern parts of Ohio as that cooler Pacific air sweeps it out to the east of us. Lows tonight dropping down into the 30s, mid to upper 30s should be a good temperature range for tonight under fair to partly cloudy skies. And for tomorrow, look for that thermometer reading to bounce back up somewhere between 55 and 60. I'm looking for near 60 here in the Toledo area. So really a pleasant weather even tomorrow. All across the nation, just one pocket up over Oregon of some temperatures below the 50-degree mark. Otherwise, in the 60s, the 70s, and 80s across almost the entire nation. Here's the cloud pattern. Here's the storm activity that is slowly moving by us. And that will be ending here within the next several hours totally for our viewing area. And of course, this clear area behind it is what will dominate the scene tomorrow. We'll still see some cloudiness around, though, and that should dim the sun now and then, but still a pleasant day. This cloudiness out in the west is associated with a low pressure system, and that system now is moving inland as this Pacific air mass sweeps on through for us tonight and tomorrow. And by tomorrow, here's that Pacific air over us, giving us a rather pleasant day tomorrow. And look at the low pressure system becoming organized out in the west. A slow-moving system. It's going to be meandering our way, so by the latter part of the week, you can expect you'll need your umbrellas once again. Here's how we look for tonight. Look for those thunderstorms to pretty much be ending. They are tending to move east of us right now, down to 37 tonight. Winds west to northwesterly up to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, looking for partial sunshine, some scattered cloudiness here and there, middle and high clouds, and highs up to near 60, down to 38 tomorrow night. Winds tomorrow. They'll be northerly, but then shifting more easterly late tomorrow and picking up speed. They could be up to as much as 25 miles per hour after dark tomorrow. So that's for tomorrow evening. Sunrise at 6:17 a.m., sunset at 7:01 p.m. And we can expect Thursday some rain or showers developing later in the day, continuing into Friday and Saturday. And Jill, my concern here is, while we've had some rain to wet the ground down, that easterly wind could pose some problems for the latter part of the week, and we'll be keeping an eye on that from the weather point of view.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. Kent State has lost a basketball coach. Louisville has found a champion. Orris with more on both stories next in sports.
Of the 3 leading corn insecticides, only diphenate gives you control without compromise. Control of both rootworms and cutworms. Counter compromises on cutworms by just suppressing them. And when it comes to rootworms, Lorsban compromises on consistency of control. Only diphenate doesn't compromise on either rootworms or cutworms. Diphenate. Control without compromise. Guaranteed.
Morning, come on and feel it. Feel the lather on your skin. What a great way to begin. And the scent is cool and brisk. No one starts your morning quite like this. Coast picks you up in a special way, like the fresh, clean feeling of a brand new day. Coast, what a great way to begin.
You don't have much time. Starting Wednesday at 12 noon, Highland Superstores are having a spectacular 9-hour sale. Highland will be closed Wednesday until noon to mark 5 to 40% off the price of every item in the store. Then you'll have just 9 hours to save. Wednesday from noon to 9 p.m. Hurry, time is running out. The Highland Superstores 9-hour sale. Everything you never expected from an appliance store.
Use Reynolds Wrap to clean. To clean? Just line your pans with Reynolds Wrap, and all your cleanup is a snap. When you cook with Reynolds, you will see your greasy mess is history. Look how easy your life can be when you cook with Reynolds Wrap.
Now, Reynolds presents another way to wrap right. If Reynolds plastic wrap clings tight enough to keep this fruit outside, imagine how fresh it'll keep your fruit inside. Now, that's not fair.
The jackpot for tomorrow night's Super Lotto game keeps on growing. Lottery officials have increased the estimated jackpot for the drawing to $13 million. And in the sports world, kind of some sad news, I guess.
Certainly was. Very unexpected. Some stunning news this afternoon from Kent State University. Football coach Dick Cesniak collapsed and died while exercising at the university. The 45-year-old has been head coach of the Flashes for the past 3 seasons. He collapsed at Dick's Stadium where he was working out, was rushed to Memorial Hospital in Ravenna where he was pronounced dead. The basketball season is over. It concluded with Louisville's hard-fought 72-69 victory over Duke in Dallas. After the game, the principals talked about the game and the season.
Maybe not a thing of beauty from the standpoint of everything working well for both teams. I think both teams were really good defensively. That's what got us here all year, and I think that's what got Duke here.
I want to congratulate Louisville on a great win. I thought we played extremely well, very hard. We did not shoot well again. We missed shots that we normally hit a good percentage on.
Well, coach called timeout, and we came over and we discussed the play, and we went out. And we wanted either Milt or Jeff to go one-on-one, which, you know, they're good at. And we was in a 1-4 offense, and I think Jeff had the ball, and he took the shot. And I looked up, and I saw that the shot was falling short. And so I just reacted, and I went up, and I thought I was the only one that jumped because it didn't seem like anybody was around me, and I just laid it in.
Basically, we were just trying to pressure each one of their players and force them into taking a bad shot, you know, with the clock running down. That's what we did, but we didn't block out, and Ellison got the rebound. He did that all night. I think, you know, he's a great athlete. He's very difficult to keep off the boards, and he did a tremendous job tonight of putting back offensive rebounds.
The winners arrived back in Louisville last night with their national championship. Crum carried his son, who was also caught napping during the game, on television. The team was taken by bus back to the university, where they were met by the faithful. The celebration will continue tonight with a big party planned for Freedom Hall. Things were not all that quiet in Durham either, where the Blue Devils were welcomed back. Despite the disappointment, parties planned all day long today. The fans thanked the team for achieving the most victories recorded in a college season, 37-3 this year. We're not #1, said guard Johnny Dawkins, but we're sure got to be up there somewhere. It was cut day in Major League Baseball. Among the Cubs released utility man Richie Hebner. The Reds cut pitcher Doug Bear. The Indians axed Jerry Reed, and the Braves dumped a bunch of them, including Terry Forrester, Len Barker, and Pascual Perez. Phenoms seem to abound in the spring, and the Tigers are no exception this year. There's an 18-year-old pitcher from Lansing named John Smoltz. One Tiger official called him the brightest young guy I've seen in the Tiger organization. He isn't ready for the bigs yet, though. He'll start in Class A down at Lakeland. Exhibition ball today. Tigers got a draw, actually. They went 12 innings, still tied at 5, so they called it off. Blue Jays pounded the Reds 10-0. Pirates a 7-5 winner over the Twins. The Royals beat the Yankees 2-1. In college ball, Rockets won their 5th in a row. 17-10 over Adrian, and Michigan defeated the BG Falcons 11-3. Dayton's Don Donaher has officially applied for the head basketball coaching job at Navy. Paul Evans resigned that post last week to take the job at Pittsburgh. University of Texas has expanded its internal football investigation to include allegations that recruiting coordinator Ken Dabbs paid $100 in traffic fines for All-American linebacker Jeff Leading. The University of Houston Student Senate has passed a resolution that's seeking to halt all student and university funding of athletics for 1990, by 1990, I should say. The resolution, which is not binding to the university's Board of Regents, is an amended version of a resolution to abolish all intercollegiate athletics at the school. And published reports say that Lamar's Pat Foster was unofficially named to succeed Guy Lewis as the head basketball coach for the Houston Cougars. That has not yet been confirmed. And Bing Devine resigned today as president and a member of the board of directors of the St. Louis Cardinals of the National Football League to pursue other interests, he says. He was also, I think, the president of the baseball club at one time.
Yeah. Do you think he's having a problem? Doesn't he want to sort of move him out of town? The football Cardinals?
Or the owners went.
And, oh, maybe he's just not happy with the owners. Who knows, right? Well, you often hear that you can't get there from here by air, but that's no longer true about the nation's capital. More on that in just a moment.
You could use diphenate for your corn, but it won't stop white grubs or flea beetles. New low-odor Thimet controls those pests and more, guaranteed. You could use Lorsban, but Thimet beats Lorsban for rootworm control. And Thimet insecticide has systemic action, too. Why pay more for Furidan when Thimet gives better rootworm control? Tear into Thimet this year and save $2 to $5 per acre. Better performance and a lower price. That's the Thimet bonus.
Money Station, you've saved me again. When I see a teller machine with a Money Station emblem like the one on the back of my card, my banking is as good as done at more than 1,000 locations. And it doesn't even have to be my own financial institution.
Make sure you have an ATM card with this emblem on the back, because Money Station makes banking as easy as crossing the street no matter where you are.
Money Station, you've done it again.
We all know we should take care of our glasses, but we don't. That's why new Guard Eyes lenses were developed. Guard Eyes are so strong they're virtually unbreakable. So tough, if they scratch during the life of your prescription, we'll replace them. So even if you don't take good care of them, they take good care of you. Guard Eyes, only at Sears.
There's more for your life
at the optical department.
at Sears.
All frames now half price at the optical department at Sears.
The bridge, symbol of the strength of Toledo. The lights, symbols of the pride we all feel in Toledo. And now the Anthony Wayne Bridge is proud symbol of a new health plan. Strong as Toledo, proud of Toledo. Toledo Health Plan. We care for Toledo.
On Night Watch tonight, we'll tell you about safe canoeing, and we'll take you to the Bag Lady Ball. Hundreds of people are paying $25 a ticket to benefit Elaine Higgins, Toledo's Bag Lady. Folks are lining up already for a menu that features street person stew. Join us at 11 for all the day's happenings on Night Watch.
Non-stop service to the nation's capital is now available from Toledo Express. Air Wisconsin is flying to Dulles International Airport outside Washington twice daily. Both flights return to Toledo. It's the only non-stop service available to Washington from Toledo. A Port Authority official says Air Wisconsin is also considering flights to both Washington National Airport and New York's LaGuardia Field. I would think getting landing rights at those two very popular airports would be difficult.
Well, of course, Dulles isn't as popular in some people because it's out of town a little bit.
Out there in the sticks, but it's a bus ride, I think. A pretty good bus service in the capital.
And you have the convenience of Toledo Express.
That's true.
And it's a nice city.
And Dulles is nice, too. It's just that it's out there.
Let's talk about the weather a minute. Rain is ending, but we can expect the easterly winds. We'll have to watch those later tomorrow.
All right.
Good
evening. This is the CBS Evening